coming to you raw and unscripted. Beaming across Ontario and beyond to places like Alliston, Mississauga, Mimico, and Gananoque. This is the Real Hickson Real Estate Podcast. Whether you're listening on your commute or putting on your suit, whether it's your morning stroll or you're on patrol, you just finished prayer or dropped the kids at daycare, you're in the bar, your car, or listening with the bathroom door ajar, near or far, this is the Jess and Giro Show. We're grateful for flattery and prone to inaccuracies. This is your guide to Toronto culture, people, events, news, but most importantly, real estate talk. Yes, Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. It's almost February.
What? Yeah, well, but this is the first one since the holidays that we've recorded.
There should be rules against talking Happy New Year, like by the second week of January.
Okay, that's fair. I'm just holding on to the festive spirit, I suppose.
Okay.
Which is about, some of the only positivity that we can hold on to.
Okay, fair enough.
As we are still in a pandemic, Jess.
I know. It's rough.
Is it endemic soon?
Let's hope.
I think we're out of here. Get boosted. Get vaccinated. What can I say? I don't like to preach on this podcast, but just get on with it, mate. Just move on. Let's progress as a society. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do what we need to do to move on.
Now, they don't need to hear our, opinions.
Well,
on the pandemic.
They're listening.
On the pandemic.
Okay.
Is what But we are here to talk real estate. As you know, thanks for joining us. 2022, the first podcast for the year. What are we talking about today, Jess?
Some real estate myths.
7 real estate myths. We've packaged it all up, nice up for you because people have less of attention span these days, apparently. I could just talk on forever if people wanted to listen.
I know, that's the problem with you.
Yeah. First up, we're going to talk about market conditions. Jess, what's going on out there?
It's crazy, as we all know. There's a lack of inventory, lots of buyers. Bank of Canada held the interest rates, so there's some good news there. Buyers are ready to buy, but not many things to buy at the moment.
So just really the biggest problem, biggest issue, just lack of inventory right now. Mm-hmm. It's the lowest in history. Currently, it's something like 0.2 months, which is basically a standard they like to use, which measures how long the current inventory would last if everything was to sell out. And it's 0.2 months.
Very long at all.
It's not very long at all. We are, still lacking some housing. That looks like the government is talking about tackling that this year. We don't know how they're going to handle it, but it would be interesting to see what they say. Either way, detached houses, even luxury is just crazy. Things have really launched from November, December last year in terms of price. Now, January, February, we're looking at some pretty wild prices, aren't we, Jess?
Yeah, especially in the starter home.
Yeah, anything entry level, people that can't afford a detached, they go to the semi. They go from the semi to the townhouse. They go from the townhouse to the condo townhouse. Mm-hmm. And obviously what will follow suit this year, I believe, is the regular condo market as well. I think, maybe the bigger condos, it's really going to be a push and pull kind of factor for someone or a couple or a little family wanting to do a townhouse, but they kind of have to settle for maybe a larger condo, but maybe that price is too much as well. I mean, it's just really... it's going to be interesting to see how people behave.
Yeah.
I think as well as immigration really picks up this year, we're talking about the endemic in April. Fingers crossed that all happens. We start to go back to normal by the summer. That means, immigration is really going to pick up, especially as the countries around the world finish with their pandemics as well. So, interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. Big growth numbers is our expectation.
But yes, the advice is, as Jess said before, interest rates are holding for right now. Bank of Canada, they said they're definitely going to raise interest rates this year. Some have forecasted maybe 1% by this time next year, which is a big jump. The average is holding around high 2% now, middle 2s. That's going to jump to high middle 3s by next year. So now is the time to jump in. If you're renting, now is the time to try and jump into the market if you can. Either way, if you think you can, obviously reach out to a mortgage broker. We have ours that we can refer to you. Just try and get a 90-day locked-in pre-approval, a rate hold, as you will. Remember that it's actually never a guarantee, but it's the best thing you can do to get prepared on the off chance that you're able to get into the market. If you guys are looking to upgrade as well, now's a good time. Look, you're always buying and selling in the same market, as Jess always says. So yes, you might be buying something more expensive than you were thinking about, but you're also going to be selling your place for more than you were expecting as well.
Yep.
So either way, you guys, if you are thinking about jumping into it this year or upgrading, please reach out. We can kind of offer some assistance. We can, even just have a little yarn, just have a little chat about areas and ideas and different ways to live.
Yep.
But that kind of wraps it up, Jess. I mean, in terms of events and stuff, what's happening around the Toronto?
Yeah, nothing.
Let's not even bring up the truckers.
Well, listen.
We won't bring up the truckers.
No, we're not going to speak about that. But next week we open up at 50% capacity, so that's something to look
start.
forward to.
And the ICU and the hospitalizations are dropping.
Yeah.
So this is all positive stuff, guys. And you think, here's the thing: you all think, these prices are crazy, but the reality is we're on the world scene now, and it's comparing it to some of the cities around the world, and trust me, you guys haven't seen crazy yet. So if you think it can't get any more expensive, then
it is.
It will be.
Yeah.
So Jess, let's jump in to the subject matter of today's podcast, which is 7 real estate myths. With our first one, which is an interesting one these days, is, well, I could basically do a realtor's job.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we talk about all of these third-party apps, which, by the way, I do recommend sometimes. There's House Sigma out there, Zolo, whatever. There's a lot of, and they provide a lot of good information, but they're just never going to replace a realtor.
No. There's so much behind the scenes that isn't seen by the average
buyer.
Buyer.
So many little nuances that a realtor will pick up on when even just viewing properties. What if you came up to a brand new building and you saw the word assignment sale? Would you have any clue what an assignment sale is? No. And that's a very complicated subject matter. You definitely need a realtor for that. Look, you could, if you wanted to, go look at the property. That's not an issue. Find the property. That's not an issue. Look at comparative prices. I mean, you might struggle with getting a proper comparable, especially with the way that everything's offer presentation these days.
Yeah.
And it's like literally a guessing game and a guesstimation game as to what something's going to sell for on any given day. But yeah, you could see the property, but as soon as you're interested in a property, good luck. We are the quarterback. The realtors are the quarterback between the home inspection and the lawyers
The
mortgage broker and the this and the that. And, you can speak to some of our clients and they will resonate that same fact with you. They're just they had no clue, especially the first-time home buyers. They had no clue how much went into just a sale or a purchase that they just weren't expecting.
Yeah. And that's why there's people doing the job.
And we use our negotiation skills. For example, when we come to negotiate, we have hard facts, we have numbers, and we're able to, kind of argue our point. That all goes out the window when you have an offer presentation and there's 20 offers.
Yeah.
But there's still, strategy skills that we have learned over the years that we like to implement. So that's got to put that to bed, surely.
Yeah.
I think people are smart enough to realize that they're not smart enough, correct?
Yeah, everybody has their jobs and their specialties and things that they learn, and we're not trying to do other people's jobs.
No, exactly. Like when I need to get my teeth cleaned by a dentist, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna call a dentist,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, you
Like,
trust the professional.
If I get hit by a car, touch wood, I'm calling 911.
Yeah.
I'm not calling my
I can't
uncle.
help you. I won't be able to help you.
Okay, so that kind of leads into this next one, number 2, which is going to the listing agent direct will get me a better deal, or I'm going to sell my house by myself.
Yeah. 2 things that don't work very well.
Just understand this, like, okay, on the buying side, going to the listing agent, they do not have your interests at heart. They don't have fiduciary. Am I saying that right?
Fiduciary.
Yeah, fiduciary responsibilities for you. They are going to serve you as a customer. Imagine going to buy the biggest, monetary investment in your life, and you don't even have someone on your side. Like that is
because their seller is the most important person.
Yep. And there is some tricks and there's some strategies that might implement to kind of lure you in. It's
Little
just
kickbacks,
all that kind of stuff. It doesn't work out because there may be a hardworking realtor that's going to get you a better price than what you end up getting going by yourself.
Yeah, and they're only focused on you as the buyer.
Yep. Conversely, FSBOs, as we like to call it, which is the acronym for sale by owner. Let me tell you guys, we see a lot of listings, and occasionally we will say a for sale by owner. There's a lot of controversy that agents will just avoid these properties, and there's actually been a lot of write-ups in media articles around this. Now, as a buying agent, you should take your clients to any properties to see it, but it just gets so messy when it's for sale by owner. You just will never do, as a homeowner trying to sell your own home, you're never going to do the same job in terms of marketing, in terms of networking, in terms of presentation. If you can really pull that off, like, hats off to you. It is a tough process. For us, for example, we have staging teams, we have photography teams. We have a lot of services. As I said, again, we're the quarterback, the realtors. So we do implement a lot of stuff, and there is just really the right way to go about things, and there's the wrong way to go about things. And
just putting up a sale sign in the front of the house is not going to do it.
It's not going to do
Even
it.
with the market as hot as it is.
And,
you might save $25,000 on the commission, but what you are going to lose is a lot worse than that. If there's legal disputes, if things are done correctly, if you don't do the proper marketing and you don't get the full sale price, because realtors are going to be able to get you more money.
That's right. Just as Jess said, you think you're going to save some commission, which is a great idea, but in the long run, you're going to end up paying more.
Yeah.
We see it. We saw there was one in North York. We went into that area 3 times that year. We saw the same sign up, and he eventually sold it, but he's not. They would never have sold it for as much as they could have got.
Yeah. And just like the legal implications are massive.
Again, you could do it. You could get the buyer at your door, but as soon as like you start writing up an offer or looking at an offer as a seller, it just really needs a lot more experience, expertise, and it goes beyond just realtors. As I said, again, it goes to lawyers, it goes to home inspectors. There's a lot of stuff that's involved. So I don't know. What else more can we say?
I think that's good for that.
The right realtor, the best realtor for you, which is us, by the way. We are worth our weight in gold, and we're gonna fight for you guys, and we're gonna be realistic with you. And we're gonna find out your needs and wants and goals, and we're gonna help you get there. Maybe you have 6 months to sell a home. That's a different strategy to I really want to move this month. And maybe where you're moving to, you have an opportunity now. Maybe in 6 months, you're going to get priced out of that area.
Yeah.
For example.
Exactly.
So, we are worth our weight in gold. Jess is just TikToking right now.
We're always TikToking.
Always TikToking. Guys, if you haven't checked out the TikTok, at Hickson Real Estate Team. No, it's actually Hickson Real Estate. And check it out. Got a lot of fun content. Bring in your news. fun stuff. I did a coffee. I did a little espresso little video the other day. Really enjoyed that. Jess, you can stop filming now. Appreciate that, but yeah, you can stop. Okay, we digress, guys. Number 3. This is a pretty common one. I mean, speaking of TikTok, if you go on TikTok, there's a lot of people out there helping you with demystifying the market, and especially if you're a first-time home buyer. You need 20% to buy your first home, Jess.
Nope.
Myth.
False.
You could even do 10%. You could actually even do, depends where you're buying, not in the GTA right now, you could even buy with 5%.
For the first 500,000.
For the first 500,000. As I said, that doesn't really apply.
No, but it's the first 500,000.
Yeah, the first 500,000.
Then everything after that is up to 10, as like low as 10%.
Yeah. So there you go. And we say first home because that's the rules. Now, of course, if you're buying more than your first home, than your primary residence, it is, of course, 20% as an investment. But yeah, guys, there's just so many creative mortgage solutions now. And talking about realtors being worth their weight in gold, mortgage brokers are being worth their weight in gold as well. If you're in a fantastic prime position with your bank and you've got fantastic opportunities or connections there, by all means, go straight to the bank. I like to recommend personally that you go to a good mortgage broker and they're going to shop you around. Find you the best rate, find you the best lender. If you're lucky, you can be on the A side. There's obviously the B side, which is more common for self-employed people or kind of other jobs that are a little bit different, which is kind of more common these days, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
if you're a TikToker,
if you're an entrepreneur or a TikToker or influencer, content creator. As I said, there's really creative ways of not only proving the income, but getting you that approval.
Yeah.
And they're always going to work for you, always going to work on the right side. So that's that myth busted. Should we just do busted as we bust them?
Yeah, like Mythbusters.
Okay, here's a very interesting one, very topical one. Number 4, list price is the price that they want.
Yeah, not at the moment.
Now, there was a funny moment when Jess had a client and we went to look at that property and she eventually bought that property. Good for her. And if you're listening, you know who you are. And her parents couldn't believe that she was going to offer more than the list price. Why would you offer the list price? Why would you offer more? No, offer less. Yeah. So what am I talking about, Jess?
Yeah, so as we know, the strategy right now is to entice buyers by pricing the home with an arbitrary number, basically, and it's always less than the value, to get these bidding wars going, that there's 20, 30 offers, just sold for $400,000 over asking. But we all know that the value of the house was not.
Yeah.
It was never going to be the list price.
Yeah. This is part of our job. Some homes are actually listed for $1, which is a little bit rude if you ask me. I think there's a lot of backlash on that kind of stuff.
Like it could be $1,
it could be
$6. It doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah. Let's say the home is $1 million. They might list it for something like $799, and then it's really like, because of the blind bidding process, it really, you have to be a good realtor. You have to understand pricing and recent comparables to find the fair market price, and then above and beyond that, on the night, it's really how much you want.
Yeah,
how much you're going to pay for it.
It's a sneaky marketing technique, because if my budget's $1 million. And I start looking at houses listed at $899, $950, but that house was never going to sell for $1 million. As the buyer, you should have never gone in the door, but you go in the door and you might fall in love, and maybe you push the budget, and then
that's the key point. I might fall in love, and the reason they do this is they set it just low enough that you believe you can get it, and commonly our clients get approved for more money than they were expecting to spend. And before you know it, they got lured in for a property, and now they're writing offers $100,000 or $50,000 over what they're expecting to spend. And that's how they get you. And you know what? half the time, they don't. The listing agent, they don't even want your offer. They just want a offer from you. They just want a offer from you because if they're getting 1 or 2 offers, that dramatically changes when you get 10 offers.
Yes. Yeah.
I always tell my clients on the buying side, if it's just your offer, that's a very different situation to 2 or 3 offers. Okay, I play that a little bit differently. Anything over like 3 offers, it's basically what are you comfortable spending on this home?
Yeah, but then they can pit like 2 offers against each other.
Exactly. And this is what they do. But you know what? It's not all bad. I've personally, and I'm sure you have too, Jess, dealt with some very honest realtors, and they've given me kind of clues or ideas of where the other offers are at. And, we won't go into that too much because it's obviously very situational. But, there is some fair play out there as well.
It's not all doom and gloom.
It's not all doom and gloom. It's not all sneaky.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, and there's, especially because there's a lot of skepticism and a lot of controversy around the offer presentations right now. The different forms of government are talking about removing that potentially. There was one listing the other day, Jess, I don't know if you saw that said seller reserves the right to reveal offers, which is tending towards
that non-blind bidding.
And me being from Australia, I'm very aware of
the open
auctions and how they all shake out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I can't say that anyone's any better or worse. Sydney prices are absolutely out of control as well. So if you're interested, go have a look. The average semi is like $4 million in Sydney. It's out of control. You think the prices here are bad? As I said. Okay. But basically, getting back to our point, the list price, it depends on the market. Last year when we were looking at condos, list prices were traditionally a little bit higher than what they wanted.
Mm-hmm. So there was room to negotiate.
There was room to negotiate, like in a traditional thing. But as I said, as soon as there is an offer review, and this is the other thing, you guys want to go on House Sigma, all those things, you'll never see you'll never see the brokerage remarks. This is the main thing that we can see. We can see that offer review date.
Yeah.
Which actually adds to the confusion of why did this sell for $40,000, $400,000
when you're looking and you have a top budget and you're like going to the top with the list price, like maximum $600,000, but that condo is never going to sell for $600,000.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here.
That's right.
To deal with these weird situations.
Yep. All right. Number 5, you will overpay for your home. You're going to overpay. And in the heart of the market, you've overpaid, and you're going to lose all your money on your house. Yeah.
Well, let's see what people said 6 months ago who were going to wait for the market to slow down to buy.
Yeah. And we will get onto the next point after this, which we'll add into this conversation. But guys, here it is. Let's say, and this is strictly talking about the GTA. I can't really talk about the out of suburbs that have absolutely blown up. I'm not sure whether they will sustain or continue to grow. I think they'll grow maybe at different rates, or there might be a little dip and it'll come back. But basically, listen to this, you'll never overpay on real estate unless you sell at the wrong time, okay? Now, I understand people get into tough situations, interest rates rise, you might be close to defaulting, okay? And you'll have to sell your property. And if you're unlucky enough, you will sell in a dip. But the market is cyclical, okay? It will always go up and down. And, we have some fun graphs that we always look at.
Yeah.
And they're dips, but guess what?
It comes right back up.
The peaks are growing every year.
Yeah. If you look at the 20-year chart, like it does just continue to go up.
Now, if you talked about some middle America town that had a fracking operation, all of a sudden on Main Street, there's massive cracks and homes are falling into the ground, that's an extreme situation. That is where you will lose all the value in your home, okay? Or, a regional town that revolves around a gas plant or mining shuts down overnight. Maybe the sector shuts down. These are extreme situations.
Yeah.
When we're talking about the GTA, if you can tell me that people will stop moving to the GTA, then maybe I'll consider that prices will drop in the future. But let me tell you, there's people moving here every single day. There's people moving to Canada every single day. And with the pandemic coming to an end and people around the world with their crazy house prices, Europe, UK, Australia, America even, Hong Kong, those big players there, they're going to be moving to nice, stable countries, stable economies somewhat, nice people, nice, friendly neighborhoods. Toronto's on the map. Canada's on the map.
The only thing I'll say is you overpay if you personally cannot afford the place you're buying.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You need to know your own financial situation, and you can get unemotionally involved in a place, and maybe you offer more than you were expecting to pay, and that's how you feel like you overpaid. But you have to know your own finances and your own situation.
And as I said, apart from these extreme situations, and I understand that people do get into hardships and they have to sell, or they're close to defaulting. Other than that, you just don't sell if the market's down. Don't panic sell. I mean, that's the worst move you could do. There are stories of people selling and going to rent, okay? Waiting for the market to drop so they can buy back in low. It's not like stocks. It's not like cryptocurrency. It just doesn't work like that. The prices are crazy, and in 2 years, 3 years' time, they're going to be even crazier. So it's all about perspective,
Yep.
Jess, your downtown City Place condo for $265,000.
That my dad said I was crazy.
Your dad said you were crazy because his mortgage was $165,000.
Yeah.
Could you imagine buying a condo for $265,000? I mean, to you, that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money.
It was at the time. It was a good chunk of money, and now it's tripled.
And
it's been what, 6 years?
6 years. Yeah, we're not talking about from the 80s to
No.
That's 40 years. We're talking about short spans.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about in terms of, wow, remember buying last year in November?
Under 500.
The average condo is pushing 700,000 now.
Yeah. Livable size condos. Not micro condos.
Not micro condos, which is a new thing. But that's kind of where we're at. Again, you will never overpay unless you sell under duress or under stress or for any other kind of external factor that's going to make you sell at the wrong time. Just don't sell. That's it. Just sit there.
Yeah.
Paying more down into your mortgage. At least you're not paying rent. That's what we should all strive to move through. Okay, so that gets us on to the next number 6, which is the bubble is going to burst.
Well, none of us have a crystal ball, number one. If we did, we'd all be in a better position.
Look,
we've been hearing about this bubble for 25 years.
The bubble. These are all these people that have maybe lost money or should have bought, and they're a bit salty about it.
Yeah.
Look, here, if you look around in the markets around the world, it's interesting because, especially in Western culture, we're all very similar in the way we're set up. In Australia, which I think is comparable, last year, the bubble did burst, believe it or not. We said in Australia, I listened to my parents say it, other people say it, they said the bubble's going to burst, for 20 years, maybe 30 years. And look, last year it actually did burst. And overnight, house prices dropped 10%, which is a lot.
Yeah, huge.
That's a lot. And that might have been enough to push some people back out of the market again, not sure. But here's the thing, within 3 months, that was an opportunity for people to buy in.
Well, that's it.
The market dropping 10% was a huge opportunity for people that have been waiting on the sidelines for a year, 6 months, 2 months, waiting to jump into the market. And they did. And then the prices went back, right back up over. So, and these investments, it's not day trading.
Yeah, this is long term.
This is long term. And, we've been talking recently about people wanting to make a quick buck. Like, that's not how this works. Now, yes, between November and now, house prices have gone up maybe 300,000 more. And that's a quick buck, but that's just lucky. That was a city that's now recognizing itself as a global city that had a lot of areas that were undervalued. And now, the actual true value of houses are being realized.
Yeah.
I think. People from these expensive cities, as I mentioned before, are coming here and saying, wow, I can buy a fully detached house near the go. Yes, it's 45 minutes on the go, but I can get that for 700, 800,000. Like, that's the reality.
Yeah, and lifestyles have changed and work situations have changed.
Yeah.
And maybe you never thought you could buy, but you could get into something that you weren't thinking. And that's what's driving the market everywhere. It's not just in the GTA. Mm-hmm. We've seen that quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, that was the biggest factor. People wanted space, the pandemic, work from home situation. I'll be interested to see how that plays out, the work from home situation, whether people have to start going back to work, the percentages of how many people do have to go to work, or whether it's a flexible thing. And that might affect people moving back to the city.
But if you're banking on the bubble to burst, I just don't recommend it.
Yeah.
First of all, you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, you just don't want that to happen. Real estate is one of the biggest driving factors in any economy because it creates so many jobs, including ours.
Thousands of jobs.
Thousands of jobs, trades, suppliers, even just the little tuck shop or a little takeaway joint on the corner near the construction sites.
Yeah.
So many jobs.
Yeah.
White collar jobs, blue collar jobs. It's really, it was very smart that the government didn't stop construction in Ontario.
Yeah, it's very important.
It's the smartest thing that they did. Okay, so the bubble's not going to burst, guys. You heard it here. No. Look, we can't guarantee anything, but it's just the reality that we live in. Okay, the last one, number 7, real estate myth. I'm waiting for my dream home, Jess.
Yeah, we all are waiting for our dream home, but you're not going to get it on the first try, maybe not the second try.
Jess's little condo downtown in City Place.
Yeah.
Like, it was less than 500 square? No, it was
it was 486.
486 square feet. And this was back in the day when they were making massive condos.
Yeah, it was just a
They're
little
making
guy.
big ones. Just a little guy. But the reality is, guys, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And it will not be perfect. Look, you might be super lucky, win the lotto, run into some inheritance, bank of mum and dad. Good for you. Get in any way you can. But the reality is, the way that most of us have to do it is we have to start small. We have to start maybe further out. Find a way in.
Make a few moves, smart moves, and you'll get there. It just may take 5 years instead of 1 year.
I worked out, by the time we moved into this townhouse, Jess, I had moved 16 times in my life.
Yeah.
But what that taught me was not only to be flexible and pivot, as the term is these days. Mm-hmm. No, but it just meant that I realized my parents were always making money moves in real estate. Money moves.
Yeah.
Always opportunities. And that's the reality. And now they lived in a fantastic home on a golf course before, and you will get there. You'll get there, and it'll be this.
It's a little bit of sacrifice, as long as you can make it work.
And if you're paying into your mortgage rather than just rent, that's where you want to be. And the equity, just living in it and watching the prices go up around you, it's better than screaming at a blog TO post for a piece of land selling for $1 million.
Yeah, and sitting on the sidelines.
There are areas that we could recommend to you if you don't have a lot of money to get your first home, or if you have a smaller down payment. There's a lot of options, and it's just something that we all have to work towards. And it all comes down to your needs and wants and your financial capabilities, really.
Yeah.
Do you reckon this is our dream home, Jess?
No, not mine.
It might be someone's dream home.
It's great, and it'll keep us happy for a few years. But I, again, am a realtor, and I'm always looking for something else.
Always looking for something else, eh?
Yeah, but it's a great place, but it's not perfect. Nothing's perfect.
Guys, we did do a beautiful podcast. It was very popular.
Podcast.
Yes, we did do a podcast about our situation, our personal journey, and all the stepping stones getting to where we are right now. If you guys want to go and listen to that, I forget which one it is, but you can easily find it out. It's titled pretty obviously. Go have a listen to that one. That really detailed, especially if you're just renting right now, or maybe if you got a little small condo and you're ready to move to the next step. Huge amount of value in there. A lot of advice and just the way to shape your mentality to be able to get this done in this lifetime.
Yeah, it doesn't seem feasible, but it's not impossible.
What's that famous saying? It doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, you know it. Oh. Everyone at home, if you know that reference, let us know. Type a comment. Send a message. All right, guys. I think that kind of wraps it up.
Yeah. Hopefully, we demystify the real estate market.
Yeah.
It's
lots of myths, lots of interesting information out there. And if you have any other questions, because there are plenty of questions on all of these topics, please don't hesitate to reach out. Hit us up on the Gmail. It is hicksonrealestateteam. That's hicksonrealestateteam@gmail.com.
Follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram at hicksonrealestate, or on TikTok at hicksonrealestate, or there's a Facebook little business page. You know, every form of social communication.
Yeah.
Besides, like, I don't know, Snapchat?
Yeah, we're not into Snapchat.
What's a Snapchat, Jess?
But if you are interested in reaching out and being on the podcast and talking about your own personal experience.
Wow, Jess, that
would be really cool.
You know what? And that's what we're actually going to do this year is we're going to get some of our past clients. We're going to get some people on the podcast.
Yeah.
With us this year.
You don't have to listen to us only.
If you would like to come on, you know, whether you're renting or whether you're in the middle of the whole stepping stone stage or whether you had your dream home and you downsized. Yeah. We want to hear from you. Yeah. Get on the podcast, guys.
Yeah,
we're super mobile. We've got a little setup here, as you can see on TikTok. Got a little mic, headphones, little laptop.
Yeah,
we're super mobile.
We could do a Zoom.
We could do a Zoom
as well.
Do Zoom as well, or even a phone call. That'd be fantastic. We want to hear from you. But again, guys, happy 2022. Let's make this the year. We're going to jump into real estate. We're going to smash it. We're going to grab some equity. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to lock in a fantastic low rate.
It can only go up from here.
It can only get better, guys. All right. Thanks for listening. And we'll speak to you guys soon.